If I could teach students one thing, it would be perspective taking. By that, what I mean is the ability to understand another person's perspective, even if you don't share it. And so not only going into another culture, but going into a developing country was a particularly interesting and unique opportunity to learn perspective taking.
That was like the best thing ever.
I'm cold, but that was awesome.
I'm alive!
It was amazing.
That was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm very proud of my students.
We would take the bus to Nyeke, and my students would interact with these young kids. The kids are so joyful and so excited to have college-age students come and interact with them.
The second we opened that metal door, every kid came swarming out, and they were just hugging us and high-fiving, and wanting us to pick them up. And they were it goes along with the whole Ecuadorian culture. Anytime you met anyone, even if it is a 7-year-old kid, they just make you feel welcome and that you belong.
We had a great time playing with the kids, and they were always smiling and laughing while we were there, and we loved it.
I definitely remember Wendy the most because she was the first one that came up to me and pretty much latched on to me the entire time we were there. So from that day on, she's kind of my favorite little girl.
La última, vamos a hacer una cosa, a ver. Todos los niños vengan a darle un abrazo de bienvenida.
I love kids, but I thought it was going to be way different because, they spoke a different language, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to understand them? Are they going to understand that I don't know Spanish? They were little, and it's hard to keep younger kids' attention, and I really didn't know how well they'd understand the games, but they actually had a lot of fun. The one where our feet stick in the ground, or we're walking through lava, or whatever, they had a lot of fun with that one, I remember, and everyone really, really had a good time with that.
We didn't have Spanish in common, we didn't have a home in common, but while we were there, we were definitely all friends.
I want to do more volunteer work with kids because I never thought of myself as a kids person, but now that I know that I can have fun with them and that they appreciate what I do too, I feel more I got out of my bubble sort of, and I feel more capable of being able to play with them.
Many of my students wrote in their daily blogs that interacting with these kids was really changing the way they felt about kids in general, about intercultural communication, and even about themselves.
The experience at Nyeke gave me a much deeper appreciation for children in general, but also underprivileged people in general too.
I got to see where the kids were living and kind of who they were and what they had to experience every day, and it got a little bit more heavy and sad.
There was a house probably smaller than a dorm room. You could tell from the outside with no door, no windows, dirt in front, no yard of course, and then there was 5 kids out there playing and the mom was inside. We went in, I met her, I said hi, and I realized that I was standing in the entirety of the house. When I did that, there was 3 of us there and we were probably that close to each other.
The reality of it wasn't just, oh, let's go play with the kids. It was
These kids don't really have that much, so we need to put everything into the situation.
Until you actually get to experience it, you don't understand like what those kids are going through. Like you can see them on TV all the time and be like, oh, okay, I'll vow $10 a year or whatever to try to help them. But like, I don't think you get the satisfaction out of donating $10 as you do to donating 5 days out of your time, 3 hours a day.
It makes me appreciate everything I have here in the U.S. that they don't have. Like, we gave them like candy and just like minor things, and they love it and they appreciate it. Like, you just don't see that type of appreciation in the U.S.
It was really hard to say goodbye because we had like connected with them so much and had so much fun with them, and just seeing their situation, knowing that we have to leave them there and we get to go back to like our privilege, it was kind of tough.
Them smiling made me wonder why I ever have a frown on my face, why I ever frowned in my life. Seeing them and knowing those things that they're gonna have to do definitely makes me want to use my resources to the full extent.
And they changed my life goals a lot. I mean, every time I think about going somewhere, I think about how can I get involved, how can I help.
You realize that your life really isn't that bad. There's a lot of pain and suffering going on all over the place, and it really makes you want to help.
You just learn something about yourself. You get to look at yourself in a mirror in a completely different way. And you think, you know, am I really doing something good? Is this really the right thing I should be doing right now? But it's a good change.